There once was a mouse named Mrs. Tittlemouse. Mrs. Tittlemouse was most frightfully tidy. Mrs. Tittlemouse swept a little there, swept a little there. She even swept under her bed and on her furnace. In fact, she might, but she didn't get very rudely untidy from sipping too much tea every day. She had visitors. Sometimes, when a beetle had lost its way in the passages, she shouted out, "Go, go, go, little dirty feet." It went out. And if anybody was lucky enough, they might have seen the beetle, the big bog bomber beetle that was trying to tip over her table on the last Sunday. Its butt bombed it out, and it landed outside, flipped its top. And one especially rainy day, with thunder, a spider crawled into the house. "Excuse me, but this isn't Mrs. Muppet's house." "Go, go, go. Don't get little dirty cobwebs all over my housey." The spider spun down, landed next to Mr. Jackson, spun up a silk umbrella. And Mr. Jackson thought he smelled honey. Mrs. Tittlemouse was going to have acorns and thistledown. She cranked her dinner table up. But in a great hurry, she found a gigantic pile of beeswax. The thistledown flew and fluttered down. She also got out a cherry stone. Now, this was most stressing to have beeswax in your storage room. She cranked it down, went poked her head into one of the passes and found none other than Babbity Bumble. "Oh, Babbity Bumble, whiz, how do you do, Mrs. Tittlemouse?" Babbity Bumble said. "Oh, Babbity Bumble, why must you always come in through the window and say biz was whiz, whiz buzz whiz?" Of course, shooing him out, he of course did not obey. She knew that something had to be done. Now, whatever will I do? I must have some way to get rid of these bees. It's a total invasion. I must have someone to get rid of these bees. I will not have Mr. Jackson. He never wipes his feet. Of course, I will not have him. Oh, and one more thing. Oh, yes, I've got it. I will do Mrs. D. Minor Puddle Duck, although she is always dripping wet. Now, oh no. And who appeared on the big step? Why, it was none other. It was none other than her old dirtiness maker, Mr. Jackson. Now, this is another one of the ways. This is another way that Mrs. Tittlemouse's house was not very tight. Oh, yeah, Mr. Jackson, you are most soaking wet. Diddly-widdly, Mrs. Mouse. I would like something to eat. Here, have a cherry stone. Noted. Oh, fine. You can stop saying no teeth. Diddly-widdly, Mrs. Tittlemouse. But this thistle down will not do. Blowing the thistle down into a corner. They went into a passage, but they found Babbity Bubble still trapped. Beeswax wouldn't help. And Mr. Jackson ate Babbity Bumble. Only to spit him out. Whiz, cavity toad. Babbity Bumble said. Do not eat me again. Stung him on the head. Ooh, Mr. Jackson yelled. Suddenly, they found a huge army of insects. An army of bugs was crawling into the kitchen. They had been attracted by the beeswax. They had been attracted by the thistledown. And the dirty footprints in the water. They were swarming the house. Suddenly, a wind blew. And the spider got covered in thistledown. Mr. Jackson hopped up, trying to sweep the insects out. But a big fuzzy caterpillar crawled on him, and he puffed the thistledown into his mouth. The bugs and Mr. Jackson went out. Mrs. Tittlemouse dove behind a corner. I have seen enough already, she muttered. She was very sleepy. But she had one preparation to do. She made the door a little smaller. Now Mr. Jackson would never fit in, because she had found him unregularly too untidy. Then she fell asleep on her rocking chair. Lastly, she fell asleep on her little box bed on the floor. The next day, she had a big party. All of the young mice were invited. Everybody was invited except, let's say, Mr. Jackson. But Mr. Jackson came anyways. He tried to get through the door, but the door was too small. Mrs. Tittlemouse handed him some swamp slushy. When he was done with the swamp slushy, he said, "Tiddly-willy-do-willy, Mrs. Tittlemouse, you are quite good health." The end.